Hey folks, welcome back to the farm. We need to get back out on that garden today and get the garden prep done. We have Kelly home for the weekend. Always good to have her home. We get a lot more done. So stick around. We'll show you what we're going to do out there. We got to get this garden going this year. The heavy traffic day here. So now we're subsoiling the garden. What that does is creates a nice, deep, ripped area to where the roots and everything and the water can get a lot deeper into the soil. It's not resting right on top. It allows it nice loose area below the row to grow down into. We're going to do this down every row. So we've got all the rows done one time. Now we're going back over them, running the shank. It's full depth. The tractor will not pull it at its full depth on the first pass. So that's why we got to do it twice. Look at Kelly, that pro backer upper lady. I'm so proud of her. She does so good on this little tractor. Off she goes. Very nice. It's going to be beautiful loose soil to plant in. Plenty of room for them roots to get down in there. So we're going to come back with just a garden rake and we'll fill this trench in just a little bit. And then we're going to lay some drip hose in here. All right, we've got our rows all straightened out real nicely, smoothed out. We've laid our drip line down in the furrow. And we've got our main drip line buried here in the grass. It wasn't buried before, so we don't hit it with a lawnmower. And I've raised our feeder line up off the ground a couple feet because it's too hard to turn those valves down on the ground. So now it'll be easy to turn those on and off. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get the tractor and get a bunch of that mulch and put mulch all along down these rows. Kelly's grabbing some more mulch from the pile. We're on our third row. Let's see what we're doing here. Just putting mulch on the rows, covering that drip hose up. Keep the weeds from coming up and keep the soil moist. She's bringing it down in the bucket, and then I got the pitchfork and she just backs up as we go along the row and fill the row up. Pretty cute, isn't she? Well, we got 3 rows completed today, almost ready to plant. We still have 3 rows to mulch tomorrow, but it's getting late and we got to go do some chores. We're watching our neighbor's ranch this weekend, so we're having to feed all his animals twice a day. So we got a hot-footed over there. And then we got to figure out what we're going to eat. So we'll be back out here again tomorrow, and we'll finish up this mulch. And then we got to put the end of this fence back on. See our end of the fence here. Once we get everything mulched, we'll put this back on. And then first part of next week, we'll be ready to start planting. We're having lower than normal temperatures nightly right now. So we don't want to take the risk of putting anything out and having it freeze. So it's the next morning. We're back down at the neighbors doing some feeding. The rams get a little hay. And then down here we have a nursing mama. Gave her a little hay. This calf over here, its mother didn't come into milk very well and wasn't producing, so this calf was a bottle calf for a day or two, and then this mama here, her calf didn't make it, so this calf was grafted onto this cow, and she's doing really well. She'd been nursing real well on this cow, and this cow has accepted the calf, so that was really worked out really well. These lambs over here, they get so food crazy you can hardly feed them. They jump up in the trough. Get out of the way. You guys are a pain in the butt. Bunch of fat kids with a piece of cake. Now I got to do 3 more buckets. Now this bunch of mamas, they get let out into the pasture. So it's like the salad bar is open. Kelly's opening the gate. And they can't wait to get back out on the grass. They'll about run you over. Now all these mamas and babies here, they get in here at night for protection. And then we let them out here. Let's see if I can do this without getting trampled. The race is on. It's like water flowing out the door. So we've been having issues with this guy the last couple days. This gate is designed so the babies can get in here and eat without the pressure of the mamas eating. Well, this baby's getting a little too big to fit through here, but they're so food crazy that he squeezes his way in there anyway. So now we have to get him loose from the fence. Alright, took some doing, but we got her through there. Problem is their front half is narrower than their back half, and the front half goes through just fine, and they just push and push and push, and they get hung up on their hind end. But everybody's out here happy, eating hay. Gonna go fill up their water bucket. Kelly's filling up the water trough. Little drinky winky. Cute little babies. I don't know that I would ever keep sheep though. Now this girl here on Friday was down. She was on the ground and not getting up, and the owners moved her in here. We've been giving her shots all weekend, and now she's up and around doing great. We got Kelly's favorite part of all. Got a bottle calf. We started out with 2 bottle calf before they brought that other mama over here. But this one here knocks out a bottle in about a minute. All done and wants more. Gonna make yourself sick. Alright, we're back on the old homestead. Our lower than average temperatures last night burnt the top of our basil and got a little bit of our lemon basil, but some of the other stuff looks okay. We had this covered, but didn't seem to help too much, but I'm pretty sure it'll come back. Luckily we hadn't put anything out in the garden yet, because you get surprised here in Nebraska. You think, just when you think it's spring, you get some cold air come in early, or late I should say, and it'll screw up your fruit crops and your vegetable crops, so you really got to be careful. To get started out in the garden, Kelly is making homemade sourdough English muffins. Cooks them in a little cast iron pot, and I promise we'll do a recipe on these soon. Can't wait to dig in. Now for dinner, I'm making ham hocks and beans. I threw in one of our ham hocks that I made from our hog that we processed. It was cured and smoked. And then I put 2 cups of dry beans, 1 onion, about 4 cloves of chopped garlic, a tablespoon of cumin, and a tablespoon of chili powder. And then I'm going to bring that to a simmer. Then we're going to put a lid on it, and then we're going to put it in the oven at 250 degrees so it'll simmer all day. I don't put any salt in it right now. I check it for salt later, right before it's done. And as that cooks all day long, that ham hock will just come apart, and then we'll be able to pull the bones out later and be good dinner. Alright, we're back after it. We're on the last row here. You can see we've done the rest of the garden. Mulched it down real nice. Now last year we would have done this, but we did not have the luxury of mulch last year because we had just got here and we hadn't had time to make any compost. So this year we have. This is all of our grass clippings and any other organic material we come up with around the farm here. And we mixed it all together. Ideally this would have been broken down a little bit better. The middle of the pile was fairly nice, but if you remember, we did not get a lot of moisture this winter, so it really didn't have the moisture it needed to cook. But as we got moisture this spring, when it rained real good, when we got a couple inches, I rolled the pile, got that moisture on the inside, and it really started to cook. So anytime that you have a compost pile, you want to make sure there's moisture down inside. So after a good rain, roll it over real good, get that moisture down inside and get it cooking, because it needs that to get going. As it decomposes, it heats up and it cooks the inside of the pile. But this is going to do. The only issue we may have is maybe some of the weed seeds didn't get cooked hot enough. But hopefully this will stay loose enough where it won't germinate a lot of stuff. And in between the rows, we'll just rototill this with my walk behind rototiller. As we get a flush of weeds, we'll get it all turned back under. Oop, Kelly's got another load waiting on me. Alright, we've finished mulching out in the garden. Now Kelly is off doing her favorite chore here on the homestead, riding her zero turn Toro time cutter. Highly recommend that. It's been a real back saver with that My Ride suspension. Go check out our video on that one. But one of her favorite things. Well, it was only 66 out here today, but out in the sun it felt a lot hotter. But we're getting some afternoon cloud cover now, so it's cooling off just a little bit. Now, some people would ask the question, why are you mulching before you plant? Some people already know the answer to that, but if you do not, I will let you know. It's much easier when you're planting just to pull back a little bit of mulch, make a nice little divot and plant your plant, and then just kind of put it back around the plant. If your plant's are already in there and you're trying to mulch, you have to be a lot more ginger about what you're doing, because you're going to smash your plants and stuff throwing that mulch in there, and it's a lot harder to do once you've already planted. So that's why we do that. And again, as that material breaks down in that row, that's going to provide nutrients and build the soil for next year. Now, we are going to rotate our crop pattern this year out in the garden. You don't want to plant like corn and tomatoes in the same spot every year because they're heavy feeders. So I'm going to put probably the tomatoes over in the row where the peas and the beans were, because they actually fix nitrogen into the soil. I'm still unsure whether I'm going to plant corn this year, because my neighbor down the road plants a lot of corn, and he's usually come down and get as much as you want. He plants acres of it, so sweet corn, not just field corn. So we'll probably go down, get some of that this year. If for some reason that doesn't work out, next year we'll plant some more. I still have corn in the freezer from last year. So the next order of business on in the garden, I'm going to close up the end of the fence down there and get that all secured, and that way most of the animals are out of there. I need to find some more pennant flags, or buy some more pennant flags for my upper deer fence up top. And if you don't know how that works, watch that video. It worked phenomenal last year. We're going to do that again. So once we get that buttoned up, the first part of this week, I'm going to look out 10 days on the forecast, see what we're looking like. If we have another freeze coming like we did last night, I'm not going to plan out, because that'll burn some stuff. My grapes burnt back a little bit last night. As you saw earlier, some of our herbs burnt back, and our potatoes and our lick tub out here burnt back pretty much. So we really got to watch it. So we're going to finish up out here in the yard, then we'll head inside for dinner. That was a good day's work, huh, babe?
Yep.
But you did a great job on the lawn. The garden's looking real nice over there. Love the springtime. We got a roof issue we got to deal with. Get shingles blow off in the high wind out here. But loving springtime out here. Well, it's time to go in. Let's go check those beans. By the smell in here, it's going to be darn tootin' good dinner. Well, in the words of Wolfgang Puck, look at that. Bone fell apart. All that good tasty meat come off of that ham hock. So we'll pull those bones out of there. There's a couple big bones. And then we'll adjust this for salt. Now for salt, remember, we like to use something that's got a little more flavor in it. So we'll use some of this chicken bouillon. It's high in sodium, and it's a good way to add salt to your dish. It adds flavor too. Now in other dishes I'll use like soy sauce, but something like this, soy sauce, probably wouldn't be too appropriate. Well, folks, that's it for today. Kelly's hitting the shower. She called it a day. I got to take her into work in the morning, because while I'm toiling on the farm next week, she's going to be out in sunny San Diego, California. It's her turn to go to California. So I hope she has a better trip than I did, travel-wise mainly. It was good to see family and friends. But until next time, folks, stay safe, stay healthy. We absolutely love you guys. We're going to put a couple videos up here for you. So like and share if you can. Help that almighty algorithm. So catch you later.